chances are if you're watching this video, then you've caught sight of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, got really excited, and now might be considering hopping into the series for the first time, but you're a little intimidated. And now you might be asking yourself, do I really have to play through the first games? Is it really that important to understand the plot? Does Kingdom Hearts 1 still even hold up after all these years? And the simple answer to that is yes. For this video, I hope to explain to you 5 reasons why the first Kingdom Hearts is still worth playing and what makes it so special. Granted, I am a bit of a fanboy and I may be completely biased, but let's get on with it. So what makes Kingdom Hearts so special? Well, for one, the story. I'd say most people consider Kingdom Hearts 2 to be the better game overall, but in my opinion, Kingdom Hearts 1 is still probably my favorite of the main games when it comes to the story. Like the first game, it just has this certain vibe. There's a mystique and intrigue that's just not quite found in the later games. And I think for that, it's because it still feels kind of new and innocent, if that makes sense. And it still has some mysterious dark edges to it that even as an adult, I still quite appreciate. It also feels the most simple and the most cohesive. Like it sort of meshes the Disney worlds and original story together the best. I'd even argue it's the best execution of the Kingdom Hearts concept. And just as a quick note, in my opinion, the Kingdom Hearts story being complicated is a meme that a lot of people have fallen for. Like, I don't think that the story is really that complicated. That's not to say that it doesn't get a little weird, you know, a little anime, but in all honesty, it's not that bad. Especially in this first game, it's really not that difficult to understand. What I also really like is that, you know, that it also feels the most like a pure Disney adventure. It has those familiar and almost kind of comforting tropes while still feeling fresh and interesting because of the original story. And so like, I don't want to give a story summary of the first game. I do think that it is actually worth experiencing for yourself, and it would really be a shame to skip it if you're wanting to get into the series. Okay, the next one's a big one, and that is the gameplay. Again, most fans hype up Kingdom Hearts 2 combat, which I can't deny. Kingdom Hearts 2 combat is great and undeniably holds up for sure. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Kingdom Hearts 1. The gameplay of Kingdom Hearts 1, again, in my opinion, still holds up for a game released in 2002. It's also been refined a little bit with the new releases, so you know you're getting the best experience getting into it now. And honestly, the gameplay is a big part of what hooked me. Like beforehand, my only experience with RPGs was Pokemon Crystal, so I was familiar with the turn-based combat. I assumed that that's how all RPGs were, so imagine my surprise getting into Kingdom Hearts for the first time, and it's like real-time action combat. We're doing combo strikes, we're jumping, we're rolling, we're actually blocking attacks, or platforming. Like it kind of blew my mind at the time. But you still have that command menu that has all of those familiar RPG kind of options, and you're doing all of that in real time. And also, I just gotta say it, Keyblade combat is satisfying. And this first game has a nice pacing to it and like a good weighty feeling. Like it feels like everything feels cohesive and like in sync for the most part, and still feels responsive. And I can't say for all of the games in the series. Another nice thing is that it is relatively approachable, but it still has depth. Like, I want to break that misconception of Kingdom Hearts being a simple kids game. And granted, it's not overwhelming or the most mechanically dense RPG, and it may not even be the hardest game that you'll ever play, but I would say that it can be a little deceptively difficult, especially if you go into it expecting it to be really easy. And some of that does have to do with it being a little vague in some areas, but the main thing is that it does still have depth for those who look for it and for those more familiar with RPGs. Like, it does require hand-eye coordination, item management, equipment management, and managing party members. You got summons, there's item synthesizing, and you got like various abilities to try out. You can even play into different builds. So basically there's enough there to experiment with for potentially multiple playthroughs. And okay, yeah, the gameplay is not perfect. There are aspects of it that definitely feel like a first try. Like again, it can be a little vague in pointing you in where you need to go. And things like the gummy ship are definitely a little awkward. And there are some unfortunately not very well thought out boss fights, but I don't think that they bring down the entire experience, in my opinion. Okay, so I gotta give an extra point for Donald and Goofy, which might seem a little weird. They are often considered a meme, sometimes rightfully so, but looking back on it, they are an important part of what makes the game and really the series overall feel special. They kind of represent that Disney element without being overbearing, and they are just generally pleasant and fun party members to have. And when they're not present, like, you definitely notice it and the game feels a lot lonelier. So as much as Donald may get on your nerves, and he certainly has gone on my nerves, I would rather they be there than not be there. For my next point, I just have to tell you that, like, there's something about this game that's just, it's very charming in small, goofy details. And I would say it's something that's lacking in most of the other games. Like, we sort of get it back in Kingdom Hearts 3, but I would still say that it's something unique to the first game. And there are just small little interactions or things to discover that you'll probably miss the first time through. Like, there are unique Heartless that just haven't made a return in later games, and they just help in making the worlds feel special. I couldn't go without mentioning the music. Kingdom Hearts has very good emotional music. Like, it has some of my favorite video game music now. And admittedly, this is something that's not unique to just this game. This is true for all of the games. And what I love is that even those who may diss the game still give props to the music. Like, that's why you'll find people just talking about the music on its own. So basically what I'm getting at is that Kingdom Hearts 1 absolutely holds up if you are curious to get into the series, in my opinion, or if you were not new and just needing another reason to start another playthrough. I see you. And honestly, it's still one of my favorite games even now. And okay, yeah, this series is a time commitment for sure, and if you absolutely don't have the time to play through all of the games, then that's fine, there's no shame in that. There are a lot of great story summaries out there to help you catch up. It's just that the speed, the flashiness, and the other character cameos of the later games are sure to look really enticing, but trust me, you will better appreciate it when you see how and where the series actually started. But what do you think? Maybe if you found the video to be encouraging or possibly convinced you to give it a try, definitely let me know, and then proceed to yell at me in the comments when you get stuck on certain bosses. But that's just a part of the Kingdom Hearts experience. If you enjoyed this, like the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.